have it be somebody who's local to you. Somebody that you can be responsible to somehow.
Well, that's funny, but like it has to be people like who are actually deep ingrained in my life, in my understanding of what's going on, But I should travel with that philosophy actually.
It'll also help you to sort of mold your socializing. So your social group, it'll mold your social group into something that's a little bit sort of.
I should go back to Seattle, man. I met the founder of Starbucks out in Seattle, and I met his friend. Man, I was connected there with like this.
Well, you said you wanted to be really good with kids.
This profound, like, outside of my own suffering and my like not guided. Like what you're saying is like approach your life with agency, And I didn't have that. I haven't had that for so long. It's like I went
well, you
so.
Said you wanted to be good with children because children, you'll be able to sense which ones are doing that to you and which ones are not.
Across the plains in the late summer.
They're just sort of like going through the machinations, sort of say.
But if you have ever done that, you understand what it's like.
Well, if you know how you treat others when you're doing that, then you'll know how. Then you'll know kind of the weak needs and the failings that you have when somebody else is doing it toward you.
Mm-hmm.
You'll kind of be able to ID those things a little bit quicker and be sort of on the ball, so to say, as far as children's needs. Because children are an exercise in give until they're just give. And expect nothing, to really get nothing in return. Give until the fucking day is long, basically, is all about children. If you're not like completely like selfless and kind of a bad way.
Yeah, no, it's not that I want to be good with children necessarily. Like, I am good with children because I'm at the same point as the children are. In a way. But I care deeply about the well-being and the development of the people.
Well, if you can have it,
and not just children. I care about people altogether.
But your actions have to match.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
You have to do it with your actions.
But I can push a swing, and I can tell parents what I see, and I'm actually connected with the seer in a way that like people really do respect, and I'm an honest person. Like I'm a genuine person. I'm not full of shit, man. I'm just saying that this profession
is an accountability
is something I've done.
Of our record of happenings, an accountability of the record of the happenings, the interaction, whatever that thing is. I have an accountability.
I'm not trying to push an ego on these kids, you know what I mean? Like, I'm, like, completely down with you, and I'm
like my giving
bro.
Is a complete accountability of every activity.
I'm the big dog. What's
like
up?
A record of minutes, kind of like a record of minutes in a boardroom.
Yeah.
I have a record of minutes for every fucking minute that I'm with a child.
I'm just saying I want to do that.
And then at that point, everything basically is geared toward.
Yeah. There's a life.
Giving value and receiving absolutely fucking nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Not anything.
Yeah.
Not anything is what my expectation is.
Shoot, I know what I want. It's just that I need some respect to do it. That's all. And that's the issue that I've been missing for all of my goals and ambitions. Like, I just need a little bit of respect. And I think I'm going to need a little bit of community to back me up so that I have that respect. And then I think that I could do that pretty well, actually, because you know who grounds me?
Oh.
The people in my life ground me.
Are you talking about,
it matters who I'm with. So, like, if...
Cormac?
Yeah. If I'm living with Cormac, I'm gonna behave a little bit differently. Ultimately.
Do you know what Cormac came up and asked me?
What did he ask you?
We were sitting there at the table in front of Leslie, and he goes, "I want to learn about drugs from you." He goes, "Why are my favorite baseball players doing cocaine and shit?"
Yeah. He told me, he's like, "Hey, I need marijuana too."
Mm-mm.
That's what he told me.
But he made those decisions about all that sitting at the table between me and Leslie.
I'm like, you don't even know me, man. I don't even smoke pot. Like, what's going on?
He said, I think that I can get that information from you or whatever, because we were busy throwing the ball around, and I was busy fucking getting them two to wrestle and shit. Just being boys.
Shit, fucking
just being
hobo.
boys, you know. So these kids are just being boys.
Right.
And, of course, Leslie's just
Well, it's okay. When I was his age, I didn't even know what marijuana was.
When I was 12 years old, my mom was smoking me out.
Oh, really? See, this is different. But yeah, me.
I can't believe you got into wood chopping. That's cool.
That was cool. Actually, Elias did that. He explained that to me the first day that I was there. He's a much more aggressive person. Yeah.
Well, I have a feeling you got into wood cutting.
It's good that I learned how to cut wood and actually chop up like kindling and stuff. That was actually a cool lesson. I liked learning that. That was sweet.
Do you know that sword that he has that's hanging up, that black one? Maybe that fucking made a big difference in what he was.
Yo.
That sword that I bought for him. I was thinking that one time that it's going to be a little bit too much, but if I was 12 years old, I was trying my best basically to remember when I was 12 years old.
But I need somebody to fucking treasure me, bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You wish that you knew that when you're 12 years old. That's what you mean?
No, I wish when I was 12 years old, that's what I would have wanted to have.
That's what you would have wanted?
Because he's in a broken family,
Oh, really?
It was something to kind of look forward to, but also to latch on to and kind of like grow from.
I don't know what that was like, bro. I have no idea what that was like.
Being in a broken family,
Yeah, seriously.
Having a stepdad.
I mean, I had a broken family, but my parents had so much wealth because of their professions that I was so gifted. I was so gifted, bro.
What do you mean gifted?
I mean, I had, like, they really fucking treated me well. Like, I was good until I was, like, 17 years old, and my dad was evicted, and my family fell apart. Like, my family fell apart when I was, like, 11, and they separated, and I became in 2 separate homes. But whenever I was, like, 17 years old...
That doesn't mean gifted, though. Gifted means that you have
my dad's midlife crisis like actually touched my experience of life, and he was in and out of rehab, and I was like alone in the house, and I was like running away from home, and like by the time I was like 15 to 17, like things were a mess for me, okay? But prior to that, like and like just set up before that, like everything was fucking grand.
What do you mean grand?
I mean, like it was like the ideal, yeah. Like it was like the best it could be, man. Like I played all the sports, man. Like we went on vacations, you know. I brought my friends on the vacations with my family, you know.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you were the typical sort of
like suburban,
cool
like
kid, suburban,
like well off, like absolutely loved
affluent,
like so connected with my friends, like absolutely loved my friends.
But at home, you're still covering for being the sort of the truth teller, or the sort of golden child, or whatever.
I was like emo. It's like my parents didn't actually give me the attention, like the care, like the concern.
But them fighting all the time, or
my dad,
some crazy
until
shit,
he left, until my dad left, he would sit by my bed in the evening and talk to me about what was going on, and that was so healthy for me. Like my dad did care. Okay, I can't say that my dad did not acknowledge the truth of what I was experiencing up until the time that he like left, and then he like he went nuts, man. Like, I don't know. He, like, lost his mind. Like, dude, I've been there myself. Like, I'm not gonna judge the guy for it. But, like, my mother, it's almost like, to her, it was, like, cool to be cruel. Cool to be cruel. This is a thought that has been on my mind. And it's just, like, she...
Well, thank you for being brave and dealing with it in an accurate way.
Yeah. No, she let's see, like, whoa, I'm just blowing my mind right now and thinking. But, like,
well, let me guide you. Remember, find out.
She's in a relationship with somebody.
Well, we'll compare the kind of parenting that they were doing, and step back from it. Step back for a minute.
She put
right?
me out in the streets so that I
And
would learn for myself.
I know, but suppose this happened to your friend
Okay.
in the same situation.
Where am I now, though?
Suppose this happened to your friend. Let's go back to whenever it was that kind of ripe old age of high school age or getting ready to be in college or whatever. Let's say you've seen a friend that was in that situation.
Oh, okay.
And they were younger now, of course, you know. Suppose
Wow.
you could say something to them that they were in the same spot and you knew every kind of position, every kind of caveat.
If one of my friends were in the position that I'm in, what would I say? That's what you're saying.
Well, what you're trying to say is hey, when your dad said this to you, this is really what he meant to that kid, because the kid's going to be a little bit confused about what his dad was saying.
Wow,
see?
but, like, actually the experience we had as kids would apply into any kind of communication that we had. Right
That's
now.
what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if your dad, what your dad said to you,
who are we?
if he had said it, if another dad had said it to his son at that time about the mom, you see what I'm saying? What was he trying to get across? Maybe, and then maybe using that supposition and the supplanting, you're going to be able to see it a little bit clearer for yourself.
That's a beautiful vision, man.
Yeah.
Man, that's what everybody loves about you, bro.
Yeah.
Is how deeply you're able to see each individual and just be like, I see who you are. Oh my God, like, that's it, man.
No, it's not.
It's
That,
no,
it's not
I
it's
know.
not that I see who you
I know.
are.
No, it's that you do actually. Like, you actually, well, you don't know the background information, but you take each individual as that. It's just that you take each individual as that. You have such a listening capacity.
Okay. Well, remember, flattery is the easiest type of language that you can make. So, I'm not trying to look for flattery. What I'm trying to look for.
That's you. You're a womanizer.
No,
that's what you are.
What I'm looking for you is I'm looking for you to be able to see accurately, like I've seen of myself, like I've seen of my situation.
God, that's what you do.
And I'm hoping that using that idea, you're going to be able to see something in my life, how clearly I can see something in your life, and then I'm going to be able to trust a mirror or trust a sort of a suggestion from you, knowing that you've done that for your own life, right?
Oh man.
And now I can trust you to see it in my life.
Let me tell you what.
Or I can see that you're doing it for somebody else.
I'm going to move past. I'm going to take everything you've just said into consideration, but let me move
it's
past
kind of
and actually tell you something.
Okay.
Okay, so I have been thinking recently about.
So it's like a self-preservation thing.
Right.
I'm not joking. It's literally a fucking self-service to tell you about deep things that you can do for yourself, so that maybe one day when I ask you, or you'll be able to come up with a good idea to say to me. Maybe you'll come back and say that to me one day and be like, hey, wait a minute, have you been thinking about this? Because remember, it's easy to see flaws in other people. It's hard to see flaws in yourself. That's why I'm so desperate to kind of like get to know people, was because I'm letting them know how much I know myself in that, getting that deep, right? In a self-preservation, in case I need to come to them and really kind of like, hey, remember what I told you not too long ago? What do you think about that now about me? You've had some time to think about it. Really, it's a self-preservation thing, right? Where I can come and ask you questions in quote-unquote code talk that nobody else would be able to understand, but I've given you a time to be able to think about it, and I've sort of sugar-coated it in a way that you're able to understand it, see? Mm-hmm. You see how I'm like basically planting like little things for myself for later on by doing that? So it's kind of a self-service. You see what I'm saying? So don't let me lie to you about that. You know, but I'm really sort of giving you avenues. I'm really like planting avenues that the Lord can actually kind of come through to me about. So I'm actually making you into a fucking.
I'm following
into
you.
like a friend, right?
I'm following you.
But I mean,
completely
into my
lost
friend.
what I was
Right?
gonna say, but I'm following.
But
you.
I'm making you do something that you probably don't want to do, or you know, for all intents and purposes. But making you do it, like even if you didn't want to do it, you would still have to do it. See what I'm saying? Literally, because if not, then who's gonna make you into anything? And that's really kind of, I think, what you're latching on to is that, oh well, he's molding me into something.
Right, no, that is it. Yeah, that's
like,
what I'm latching on to.
I'm edifying you, you know, like a church member does. I'm edifying you. I'm sort of like sharpening you in a specific way, and I think that's what sort of fascinates you about it. And but I can see that you kind of like want to rebel to that, which I'm just like, no, that's not how you do that, and you don't understand that yet. But
yeah, I
don't
mean,
let-
somebody wants me to walk in
Yeah.
front of their car, so they just
No,
like,
it's like you're
pull
brainwashing
to
me
a stop, and
forcing
I'm
me.
like,
You're,
no, just like flow
It's
with
like the
traffic,
ultimate
and I'll
in
fucking
manipulation,
flogger
though.
myself.
well, no, it's the ultimate manipulation, but it's manipulating you for a good thing. It's manipulating you for your betterment.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? But I'm not manipulating you in the quote unquote, you know, manipulation sort of a way. Like, I'm not promising you injury if you don't do what I say type of thing. I'm manipulating you, like basically like turning your head toward a good sale or like a hot chick or something like that. You know, that's how
You're like Ryan, like the guy that I said that I miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're just
I'm just sharpening you
you're looking out for me.
Yeah, I'm sharpening you
Yeah.
toward your sort of
You're-
like
you're
your
a-
own betterment, but also mine at the same sort of time.
You are kind of pathological in your thinking, but you're planned is what it is. It's a planned, like it's a guiding principles that like you're just pushing things in the direction you want them to go. You know.
Right.
And you're a good person, and so like that's all really good action is actually what you're doing.
Well, I'd like to say that it's kind of quote unquote good.
And also
but
you're
there's
really
none.
empathetic.
Yeah. Well, what I would like you to do basically is to do that for me so that later on when we're having this conversation, it doesn't have to be so dull. You can have something to say on it, and you're not sitting there going like, "Oh, duh, I don't know."
I'm so dull. Yeah, that's a big part of what's going on, bro.
But I would rather kind of see you
No,
as an
it has to
as
do
a
with
success,
feeling
you know?
empowered about my life, man.
Yeah,
and then I would be, you know, serving everybody in my life better.
That too.
It's all about being empowered about my life, man.
So I'm
So
sort
I'm
of
trying to get to go for a
So I'm
run
sort
every day,
of,
but I need a place to put my tent where I can keep my bed and I can go look for work, and I have a shower within that range, so that I can actually hold a job for a while, and it's going to take a little while for me to bridge the gap, but then I'm going to put some money back after a few paychecks. I'll be able to afford a place, and man, that's all it's going to take. But I've never had that. Like, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to put myself so that I have that stability. And I just need a camp, man.
well, look.
I need a
that's-
solid camp
Well, that's what I'm telling you right now.
where I'm allowed to be.
Is that you need to find somebody that is in the position that you are and say, hey, what's the requirement for stability in that position? Have you seen anybody else that's sort of doing it from that position? And remember, you don't have to have one single hero. You can have a bunch of different heroes that you're kind of like looking up to
I'm
for a
asking
certain
everybody
thing.
for help, man. Somebody better fucking, like, if nobody, man,
gonna
give
be
me
better.
another try.
It's gonna be
Everybody,
better.
give me one try.
I know, but listen, dude, it's
Everybody.
going to be better if they don't know and they're not actually, you're not actually asking them for help. But you're there for a certain number of things to be able to kind of be valuable at their time for, you know.
Most people are like just too far out of the like walking distance to work, the biking distance to work. Like, most people are just like out in the county, and that's the only reason that they can't help me, is because they're out there, man.
They're living a life that you
they
don't
would
know,
have to
that you're not,
drive
you know.
me to and from work themselves, and that's a little bit much. Like, my aunt did it for a while. It was actually pretty good. I don't know if she was working or not. I think she worked from home at the time.
I'll tell you the same thing.
And that's what
I'll
worked
tell you
out.
This is what I told Jalen. Listen, you have to be responsible to two things.
And you can't flip on me when I call in and do an overtime.
This is what you need to be responsible to
Joe.
without fail every day. Okay.
Yeah.
If you really want to go back to work, or if you really want to be a success for any amount of time,
I
first
do
of all,
want to. It's
you have to
fun,
be
bro.
responsible to two things:
Yeah.
the 5 o'clock a.m. alarm and the 5 o'clock p.m. alarm, or the 5 o'clock p.m. rush.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them must be your new bosses, and you must sleep between them 2 times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
About work.
Yeah, I'll
That
wake
means
up
you're
at
not
3
gonna you're not gonna
and go to
remember.
sleep at
You're
4.
not gonna remember anything from 5 to 5 for literally like 10 years straight, or 7 years straight. And you must be up at 5 o'clock looking for work, or finding work, or going to a job.
Yeah, it's gonna be manic after
And
the
then
6
at
month
5 p.m.
because I'm gonna start learning other ways to make money.
Well, 5 p.m. No, 5 p.m.
It's about that.
You've got to be responsible to the next day at 5, number 1, and your own business, number 2, in your
Is
side
that
hustle.
hard?
The 5 p.m. is your side hustle, whatever it may be.
I'll be up at 3.
It doesn't matter. You must be responsible to at 4:59 at 5 a.m. You must be fucking out, walking out that door, or the game's over. Or the game's over. And you have to forget about 10 years. It's going to be gone. The only thing that you're going to be doing is literally going to work every fucking day. You must be ready and fucking opening that fucking door.
It's so much easier to make the next
Or
2
starting
miles
out that door.
once you start walking.
At 5 o'clock every fucking morning. And then at 5 p.m., you must have, number 1, a plan in place for the next day. And then start your side hustle, whatever it is. And if you don't have one, don't just go spending fucking your money or whatever. I mean, that's what I did for quite a while, but and I didn't even start my side hustle by then. I was actually going to college. I was going to night school and shit when I was still. Actually, I was starting my paint.
I'm gonna go back to school, bro. Eventually, I will.
So I started my paint and drywall business at 5 o'clock every
But
day
I'm
for
gonna
fucking
do-
literally like months on end.
I'm gonna
years
do
on end.
part time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do part time.
But I was doing labor ready and then doing my own at 5 o'clock at night.
And I still have hospital like
So
abilities.
when I was getting off of work at labor ready, I was headed to work at 5. So you're responsible for what? 2 things: 5 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock rush every fucking day.
But I can afford it.
And just literally take those here, Drew.
My disability
Take this
check
thing.
will basically, if
can't-
I can get
I
a
can't
part-time
emphasize
job,
it. I can't emphasize it.
I can pay my rent with my disability check.
Do you know why I
and
say that?
everything else is
Sure.
just on top of that.
Drew, look, this right here. This is for everything in between those 2 times during the daytime.
Yeah, give it
5
to me.
a.m. and 5 p.m. They're fucking gone. 7 years, gone. They're dead. They're gone.
looks like a club
say
to me.
5, say at least 5 years, and forget everybody. And literally 5 a.m. Austin, you know.
Those
see it.
people are
You're heading to
gone.
work. You're heading to work. That's why it's important to have
I hear you.
someone to look up to, because you're going to be able to be that there. Then
I don't want to curse like that guy did because I'm going to be a preschool teacher. But
yeah, go do it.
yeah, man, like, man, those people need to just go away. Seriously. Because, yeah,
So
man, they're
then-
just an impediment.
Yeah, the 5 o'clock alarm and the 5 o'clock rush are the most 2 important times that you must be responsible to every day. At the 5 o'clock alarm, you must be looking for your primary job or doing something as far as your professionality in it, right? At the 5 o'clock rush, you must be doing your side hustle or something that you're going to be doing on your own after you get down of your primary.
Yeah, the wake up is the agenda, and then at the dusk is the is the time to organize.
It's the time to get prepared for tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I mean, you must have it done by 5.
Tomorrow, to the extent of like 5 years from
I
now.
know, yeah, in 5 years from
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
You must
That's
have
the
plan.
building time.
If every day you had the plan for tomorrow ready and in place by 5 o'clock the day before,
You're up and focused in the morning, and then in the evening, that time
Your planning is done.
that is the next 5 years planning time.
yeah, that's like whatever you're on your side
That's
hustle.
organizing time.
Yeah, that's time. Yeah, that's time to
And
say.
that's action.
Yeah, that's like, what am I going to be doing for my own business?
That's my freedom.
How am I going to be my own boss?
That's my freedom. Yeah.
Yeah. Who am I following professionally
and
in another
an
field?
hour of it has to be sacrificed to going for a run.
Your side
Like,
side
that's
hustle.
what it is,
That
man.
doesn't matter. Your side hustle is basically however you're.
That's the extra push.
See, the Bible says, physical gain
And
profiteth.
also, that's the fucking
Physical gain.
train.
I know, but physical gain profiteth very little, very little. So the word,
Imagine.
yeah, it profiteth is very little. Is physical gain.
Mm-hmm.
But being able to fucking master being there at 5 o'clock, punctuality, is not a physical gain. Punctuality is a mental behavior thing. It's a behavior change that is the master of all profits.
That's my fact.
Is that you've got I know you're like hella like stoked up about running and getting buff and shit, but you need to be fucking hella excited.
No,
about
because it makes
being
me and everybody
punctual.
else so much better. That's why.
Like being punctual. Listen, no. Being punctual makes fucking everything. Being able
You
to
don't even
devote.
remember the last time I
know.
fucking hit the wall.
But being devoted to like a full week schedule or whatever, and like sticking to it,
Yeah.
that's what you need to be
But
excited
why
about.
would I?
Well, if you're going to be able to get ahead or get a job, you always say, hey, I want to get a job and I want to do this and I need this in order to do it. No, you don't. You need an idea in your head and you need something excitable about it.
Right.
That you're able to say, you know what, I can be responsible to the 5 a.m. alarm and the 5 a.m. rush.
Mm-hmm.
So the 5 a.m. alarm.
I think we created like actually like a whole picture here,
Yeah.
and I think it's really good. And so like actually
I did it too, Drew.
I think it's gonna come together. Actually, I think things are gonna happen really well.
I literally
I
sacrificed
probably
all my friends and shit.
need to get a little bit of sleep tonight so that I can actually go to church in the morning, and that'll be a
Literally
first
every
step
fucking
and
day.
moving towards all that stuff, man.
No, there's no fucking Sundays
I know,
involved.
that's
No.
right.
It's 7 days a fucking week, Drew.
Sundays, I know.
I know.
No, it doesn't
The
matter
Bible might
once you
say,
have
yeah,
the
I know.
job.
The Bible might say,
I'm just
hey,
talking about
don't go
where
to
I'm
work
gonna
on
put
Sunday.
my tent.
Well, the Lord's gonna have something for you at 5 a.m. every fucking day as far as getting ahead for work.
Is-
Yeah. Even on Sunday. Like sometimes you'll have to work on Sunday. You know what I mean? So there's
But even if I make it
there's
that
only
late.
2 responsibilities that you need every fucking day, and it's not fucking running, and it's not fucking meditation. It's not that. It's called the 5 a.m. fucking alarm, and everybody else knows it. Every adult who has held a job knows how long have you been a 5 to 5, or how long have you been a 9 to 5.
If I don't know it, you make it. You know why?
If you've never been a 5 to
Dog.
5 for very long, then you're worth literally nothing to the working world. Unless you've been 5 to 5 for like at least a decade. I went there for like 2.
I know I'm worth nothing to the world, man. That's why I suffer the way I do.
No, you don't need to suffer that way.
I don't want to, man. I'm
You just need to make it
I'm
big.
trying to find my way out of it.
There is nothing that you can do socially that's going to get you ahead except for be able to say, you know what, I 5 to 5 for 5 years.
Hmm.
That's the only thing you're going to be able to say in any circle that's worth anything, Drew.
I do need to make it at least late to church tomorrow, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see how that's
I
the
do
only
need to at
valuable
least show
topic
up.
of conversation is I 5 to 5
Mhm.
being whatever I wanted to be. I 5 to 5 did for 5 years straight.
I'm with you.
And didn't fucking let anybody get in my way. No social contact.
Shit.
That unless that was there for there.
Mhm.
Like a good, you'll find out who be able to sift out who your contacts
No.
are a little bit better when they're responsible and helping you be responsible with
I
your
need
5
to
to
let
5.
you know.
You see what I'm saying?
I understand.
Okay.
You're saying reliability and steadiness,
Yeah, consistency.
consistency. Yeah,
Consistency and
That's the
depth.
word.
Consistency and depth.
and
So
you
if
get
they're-
deeper within it. Yeah.
If they're deep enough to basically be able to help you out with your 5 to 5, whatever that is,
Mhm.
well, then you'll find them when you're committed to it. Because you're going to have plenty of times when you're committed to your 5 to 5 when the whole fucking world is against you, Drew.
Consistency and depth.
That's what makes a good friend out of you. Or makes a good friend. But you need to be able to say, hey, I 5 to 5'd it. Doing my dream or my goal or my desire.
Okay, so
I was responsible for the 5 o'clock alarm and the 5 o'clock fucking rush every day for X amount of years.
Campware Angel.
And that's where you'll find kind of the people that are your good friends.